Hey guys, I'm going to do another video here. I'm going to do a bunch of Tour 7. Let's take a look at how my bag's set up right now. I got Apocalypse, Hammerhead, Tsunami. I'm trying to think of what our tiebreaker holes are going to be, to whether or not I should change this. Since a lot of guys are using Sniper, I'm just going to go ahead and switch. These are virtually the same club for me. I prefer the Hammerhead just a tiny bit more for the extra yards and top spin. Gives me at least 5 or 6 more yards. I'm a little less worried about the ball trail that you get on Sniper. Like some of the guys, you know, they live by that club. But, trying to think if I should switch clubs here. I can't really remember. I think I'm going to have to switch to something. Either Goliath or... How much backspin does Goliath have? 60. That might be enough. I'll go to Goliath. A lot of guys are using Goliath anyway, so this will be a better demonstration video. Basically stick to what guys are using. So let's do some Tour 7, try to get some plays here. I haven't done this tour in a little bit, so I can't even remember the holes. And I know they've switched these West Coast holes all around. Plus I think they added some the last time they did a tournament, that Wine Valley thing. I think those holes are on this tour. So here we are at Vineyard Acres. One of these new holes. This one's a tough one. I really dislike this drive. I think it's best to keep it shorter and kind of do what this guy's doing, which is kind of spin it away from that rough. And you might even want to add a little bit of curl on this as well to really keep this out of that rough on the right side, kind of like he's doing right now. Perfect ball, that's very critical. That's going to help his calls a lot too. Making sure you don't hit that rough, and that's really well done, because this is a really hard drive to hit this fairway. I've struggled with this hole quite a lot. So it's always best, in my opinion, to just stay on the safe side. So what you're going to see me do, I'm going to play it pretty conservatively. Not worried about getting down there as far as he did. I just don't like getting very aggressive with this shot, because it's very tricky. I'm still in the rough. It looked like my ball was at least going to go as far as his. I tried to pull it back, still didn't. It's not bad from the rough there, as long as you miss where I did and not hit the rough first. Like if my first bounce wouldn't have got to the fairway, I would have really put myself in a lot of trouble on this one. So one of the things that I'm going to have to do on my next shot is I'm going to have to try to play this fairway with some curl. It's not the easiest shot, but as long as you can hit a great ball or a perfect ball, you should be able to. So the thing with when I was playing Master Tees, this would be like a 13 or a 14. So getting to play this at an 8 or a 9 really makes life a lot easier. When you don't have to correct nearly as much, it's not so bad. So I'm going to aim here. I'm probably going to play roughly 4 bars here, maybe a shade under. So, like you see that clear ring, I'm going to go somewhere in that clear ring for my aim, for my adjustment. I'm going to curl it to compensate for the extra displacement that I'm going to get. My ball's going to be displaced because of that side wind. It's really pushing that wind. It's really making it, changing the trail of my ball trail. So you want to either counter it or you want to overplay. And I kind of underplayed to, like, got it right over there within, like, looked like I underplayed it maybe by a yard or two, because that great ball I hit seemed to really send it right where it was supposed to go. So it means I was underplaying it a tiny bit. And it looks like, you know, it went in a lot deeper than it was supposed to, which means it was really riding that wind. So let's see if we can get this hole. This is usually a sniper shot. The way I like to play this, forget how much backspin I need on this. I think I can go at it like this and it'll be okay, but this is a risky shot because it doesn't always bounce the way you want it. I'm pretty sure I can play it like this off the fairway, but you got to make sure that you're actually hitting the fairway if you play it like this with that second bounce. So this is uphill. So I'm going to underplay this. I would usually go like 2 full bars here. I'm going to go less than that. And the reason that I'm going less is because it's uphill. And it looks like I played it pretty well, aside from the fact that it's way right. Other than that, you see the distance control was there. But it was critical, if I was going to play it like that my second shot had to hit that fairway. So one of the things that might be a smarter play than what I just did. You see he's going to try to shot copy me a little bit because he doesn't have the ball trail. So, you know, he's taking my shot advice and trying to just replicate that shot in order to get it close here. One of the things that would be smarter, especially with his guardian, he'd be better off just doing a stop shot with more backspin, as opposed to what he's, because see, that's what happens. You miss that. See, he played the same shot as me, and look how much more it ran out. It's because he missed that fairway. If the wind was high there, I wouldn't have even tried for that shot. But you can just see that, like on the lower tours, that's kind of the way that I'm going to choose to do it, is I'm going to choose to try to bump it into that fairway if the wind's easy enough to play. Otherwise, it'd be best to go with just like 6 or 7 bars of backspin there, and then just do a stop shot to where you land it higher up on the fairway for your first bounce, second bounce hits the green, and virtually runs out a yard or 2 after. When the tournament was here, you had to play that hole with a driver. Every single time. There was never a wind that I got where you could play anything but driver. So that made it even that much more challenging. And that's what I'd try to do, is I'd try to do a like 6-7 bars backspin with a driver and then just stop it on the fairway, like fairway and then green, and then use like a little bit of curl and stop it. So let's see here. It doesn't look like this is gonna get it done. Might as well pull out a Titan. Titan, shoot. This is even looking close itself. I'm just gonna lay back on this one. So you just want to avoid the trees. You want to avoid, obviously, that rough. The fact that I hit one bounce on it. Not too big a deal. It's just going to hit, it's going to make my shot just a little bit shorter for that second. Like a little shorter in the fairway there, making my approach shot just a tiny bit longer. Not too worried about it. Just keep it out of that rough, keep it out of that pit over there. I would really like to see any other wind than straight in the face here, because you can still drive this hole. I've seen guys get on here with mile on this tour, so you know Apocalypse is really nice to have. So let's see. So one of the things that I try to do on this one is I'll try to slowly roll it down this hill, kind of in the neighborhood of here. You see I did like 3 bars of backspin. I might do 4 if it wasn't into the wind. But since it's into the wind, I'm going to play it like this. And then I'll probably do like 4 bars here, 4 rings. So I went like 4 complete rings. It looks like it might be a little bit of an overplay. So I'm going to keep it short and curl it back a tiny bit. And I hit a great ball anyway. But all you got to do is get it coming down. As soon as it starts coming, looks like I didn't get it down that hill. I shouldn't have short hit it. And I definitely shouldn't have pulled it left. But it's an easy putt from there, so it's not a big deal. It really plays like a 3-foot putt from there. So it's not the end of the world to do it. I mean, with the shank that I hit, I was never going to make it anyway. So it's really not that big a deal. But if you can get it slow rolling down that hill, you can get it to go online a lot easier. So that's why you saw me play it that way. That's why you're seeing this guy also playing it this way. He's just taking a different approach. He's landing his more up into the green and then just full back spinning it. It's basically the same general idea of what I did, just with more backspin. As soon as you get it to there, that's the way you want to bring it in. Is you want to bring it in so it just slowly grazes down that hole. Mine would have done that had I not shanked and got it to the crest of this hill. Now, the only question that I'm going to have is if I'm going to be able to see the hole. That's going to be the only unknown variable. It looks like I can. And again, this is playing like, you know, a 7-foot putt. So you have a pretty good margin of error. I didn't really have to hit a perfect ball there. Even though it's a long putt, there's quite a bit of accuracy because you're only hitting it like 7 actual feet. So, you know, it would act like a 7-footer, basically, which means you can usually get a great ball on either side and it'll probably still go in. So let's see what par 4 they give us this time. Par 3. So this is an interesting hole. I like it. With a big dog, this is going to be a bit of a tougher shot. I wouldn't necessarily recommend using Big Tog on this tour. Just doesn't have quite the accuracy that you're looking for and need. Just imagine if that guy with the big dog had to play me on the last hole. Realistically, I mean, the only tours that you want to use stuff like Big Dog is stuff that you really need to curl the ball, because it's just not accurate. But he did manage to find that, for whatever reason, going right at the hole. I mean, obviously perfect ball, but against all odds, he was able to hit a good shot here. If you go and watch a lot of my videos, I cannot believe some of the shots that I've had to play against. Like, every time I play this hole in my videos, somebody just hits just like a worldly shot, because this hole is not that easy. So that the fact that guys keep pulling it off is just pretty crazy. So I really don't have much of a chance with him hitting the pin. I mean, my chance there was basically to put it in the hole. So you see I played about 10 bars, 10 rings there. Sniper with 100% accuracy. Basically has like 1 yard per ring when it gets to 100 accuracy. So since it was like 10 in the face, you basically add, you go 10 rings in the direction. Plus you have to factor in that there's going to be a little bit of extra because of the way that the ball shot trail gets affected. Like, it's going to want to check up more when it's into the wind 10. So it might play more like 11. So one of the things you saw is I went at least past 100%, and then also curled it just a tiny bit, just to try to counter some of that side spin that I was about to get. So what I do on this one, this is easiest to go at this hole if you can go over the bunker. It makes this hole tremendously easy. So you see how all this landing zone, I'm going to be good. So that's why I'll put on a Titan here. Makes this hole a lot easier. Now I just have to stay away from that tree, which I did, and make sure I don't put too much topspin on it, which I was close to. So if you can land it there, like right over that bunker, usually between 4 and 5 bars of topspin is ideal. And it makes that drive so much easier. And it also makes almost an easy win. If you can take advantage and actually get over that bunker and basically taking it to the end, you'll be on the green. Foremost, that's like the important part. Like, I'm basically probably going to hit the green. And I win this hole a lot of times because a lot of guys don't equal this. This is a beast hole. If you can't get aggressive with your drive and get it down there past the trees, at least 20 yards past the trees, you're just in for a brutal hole. So let's see. Okay, so he went under the trees. Now, depending on what club he has, he still might not be able to get to the green. And depends on what wind they give us. So I'm good with just about any wind from here. I'll find a way. In fact, what you're going to see I'm going to do is, you see how I'm kind of utilizing full ball here? This is one of the things that I always do. Is I go at this with more full ball. And I'm going to need at least 7 rings because I'm going 100%. So that was about 5. I'm going to add on another 2. I'm going to have to back off this a little bit. As you can see, 100%, 100% seems to probably be in the rough somewhere. So I'm going to come in here and find like a middle ground here. Got my perfect ball. See if I can get this to come in pretty nice. It looks like I just underplayed it by a yard. So if I would have went one more ring there. But that's the way to do that shot. Instead of trying to, so what you'll see a lot of guys do is they'll try to either front spin that or whatever, they'll do whatever they have to not go full ball there, which is the total incorrect way to play that hole. The longer you can make that land and the softer you can get it to come in, the more your odds are of hitting a quality shot. So if you can replicate what I just did, it's way more effective than trying to have to go at it like this. This is a brutal hole when you have to use top spin, and it just makes this hole so much harder. So what you're seeing this guy doing is he's laying up here. And he's just going to go for the pitch in. And depending on the wind, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. So one of the biggest challenges with this pitch is how glitchy this green is. Like you'll have, it just has a whole bunch of mounds on it. So you'll hit a shot, which seems like it's going to be perfect, and then it'll bounce like completely sideways, just a yard over. If you miss your mark by like a yard or half a yard, you'll see a whole bunch of different ball trails. So one of the things I like to do on this one is, if I was where he is, would be to go for a dunk. He's a little far to go for a dunk. It's hard, but if you know you have to make it and whatnot, I'd probably just suck it up and do it. This is very, very hard to get this to go online. Regardless if you're hitting perfect balls, regardless if you play it which seems perfect, it just never wants to go in that damn hole. It just likes to hop all around it. Now you can get it from time to time. It's just not consistent. The way that the ball bounces on the green isn't consistent. So it makes it tricky to get that one. See if we can do a couple more here. All right, not one of my favorite holes. Let's see how I can do on this one. I could use a win like that on my third shot. Nice easy win to play. So what I did here, looks like about two bars of topspin. I'm gonna play this wind. I'm just going to hit a normal ball. Maybe just a little past normal. And of course I overplayed it by like a yard. But that's okay, because I'm comfortable showing you how to get out of making a mistake on this hole. So one of the things you see me do is I try to go to the very end of that fairway. So this guy could basically replicate my shot with an Apocalypse 4, and he wouldn't run through that fairway. But he's taken a little bit more modest approach here. He's taken off, spin, and it looks like he's playing it a little bit more to the right than I was. But he's sacrificing about 20-25 yards doing it this way. So realistically, we could almost pop it up to about the same spot. So I'm not going to get super aggressive on this because I want to make sure I hit the fairway. It's more important than basically anything else here. So what I was trying to do is make sure that if I do shank it here, that it hopefully stops short of this rough. It's still rolled in it. All right, now I'm really putting myself up against it. But that's okay. I was really hoping we could have played this where I could actually, hit a legitimate shot into this approach. But I got a little aggressive and then did not even get close to a perfect ball there. But so one of the things that I can say that is definitely smart is keeping it away from those trees. So what I was doing is I was favoring, if I was going to shank it, make sure that I'm shanking it left, not shanking it right, because you don't want to bring those trees into play. I should still be able to get onto the green here. It's just an annoying hole now, to where if I would have been playing it right, I wouldn't have had a problem, and I could go for the hole out still. And now I'm not probably going for a hole out. We'll see. I'm hoping to still be able to get it over there. We'll see. It doesn't look like it's going to hit the tree. You definitely want to aim towards the back where that slope is. And then you're going to see I'm going to try to do a full curl here around, making sure that I'm not taking off any power or adding additional power. Trying to really focus on hitting that mark. And let's see, so we're bringing it up the slope. We're going to bring it back down. It doesn't look like I got it up there high enough that it's going to actually make it back to the hole. So I need to add just a tiny bit more power, but as you see, I had it relatively on line to where I could still give it a go. But I would have rather been here in the fairway with the tsunami. There's another shot I like to do, which is about what he's doing. I usually do like 7 bars. He's doing 8 bars. This is just going to make it really aggressively come back. But he can aim. He doesn't have to go up as high as I did. And he's only going to have to do a half curl here. It looks like he's over curling, and he's probably going to miss right unless he shanks this left. So let's see what happens. Perfect ball. He's probably going to miss right, and it's going to really come down this slope hard. So that's why I'll do 7 balls, and I'll hit it just a tiny bit higher than he did and let it like funnel. But I would only did a half curl there. Very similar shot to what he did. But I could tell he was over curling it unless he got, a couple yard shank. He would have had to hit left probably 3 or 4 yards of where he was aiming if he was going to do that much curl. So that's good, though. You got to see two ways to play that. Let's say I would have been in the fairway with my Goliath. I would have went at it with a full backspin. And I would have took it higher up on the slope than he did. So it actually ran down and then did like a half curl around those trees. So just for a frame of reference for you guys. On this, I try to do a stop shot. Now the hardest part about this hole is getting your landing zone where you want. Now I should be good with only having to play a 1 mile per hour wind. So I'm only going to go a little bit outside of a ring here. I'm going to make sure that I hit at least 100%. so it doesn't check too much. Let's see if I got I didn't have so it's really hard to get a consistent bounce, and that's why you saw it bounce 2 yards to the left here. But you see I had perfect weight there. Like it was right alongside the hole. So if you can just get the bounce to act how you want it to, which is hard to do, but if you can get it to bounce the way that you want it to off that fairway, you can hit it close on this one every time. But see how glitchy that is right there? You want to stay away from that. Like it's hopping right, it's hopping left. If you watch the way his arrow was, it was all over the place. So let's see what kind of hop he ends up getting here. His went right, and he didn't do what I did, which was make sure that you don't short hit it, and you want to still make sure that you're sending it to the hole by going at least 100% there, making sure you don't come up short.